Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I show you a skirt that I made. I only just finished it recently, but I stitched all the layers of fabric together like a year and a half ago.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So this is the fabric that I end up using for the skirt that I'm making this episode, but it's actually left over from a dress. So I haven't made a dress in so long. These are layer cake dresses, and obviously if you just make the skirt, not the bodice, then it's a layer cake skirt. So these two, if you go to my channel page and you look at the community section, just look at I've got how much fabric you need to make a layer cake dress. Basically, you have 3 tiers. The first tier is 2 yards around, the second tier is 4 yards around, and the third tier is 8 yards around. And if you want those tiers to be thin, then you can sometimes fit a 4th tier, and that could be 16. So you just double it each time, and then however many layers you want, how many strips of fabric you want in each tier is, it just depends. So if you want a really flowy big skirt, then this one uses like 8 or 9 yards of fabric plus half a yard for the top. Or if you're a different size and you're using a more complicated bodice, then it'll be a whole yard for the top. And this one, I used some of the fabric to make, this is a reversible jacket. So I used some of the fabric to make one side of the jacket, some of the fabric to use and the other side of to make the other side of the jacket, and then I used the leftovers in the skirt and the bodice. So, and you can also see that I used half the fabric in the bodice and then the other half in the base. And this one I did the same. I made a double-sided reversible jacket, and then I used the leftovers in the skirt. And this green one, green is my favorite color, so I really like this one. Made loads of dresses. I kind of like the monochromatic ones, but I also like the pink and red one back there. I guess technically they're all red, just watered down with white. That's the strawberry dress because one of the fabrics has strawberries on it. This one, each of the fabrics has, most of the fabrics have poppies in them, but they're all different types of prints. Like some are more realistic, some are vintage looking ones. So yeah, I wasn't sure if they'd look good all together like that, but I really like that one. This is the strawberry one. So it's got bits of red and white fabric and pink, plain pink, which is embroidery on glaze. And then it's also got some it's muslin, so a really fine cotton that's pink with little strawberries on it. This one, it's one of my favorites. So it's all different aquas, sort of vintage looking ones. I guess we're going in chronological order because the next one I think I made of the layer cake dresses was a skirt actually, and this is a ladybug one. Well, it's got ladybugs in it, but it's also got sushi, so I call it the sushi one. And then I made this, it's sort of a pine forest looking one. You know how they have the dead needles when you go through a forest of pine trees? They have those orangey brown needles on the ground, but all the trees are evergreens. So that's what this reminded me of. And I had quite a lot of fabric of this, and yeah, I ended up, spoiler alert, doing too many layers. So I think I had 4 layers. And because the fabric is, I normally use quilting cottons, which are thinner than fashion fabric. With this one, I was using 2 fashion fabrics as well as 2 quilting cottons. So it ended up being a lot longer because the fabrics are a lot wider. So each band was a lot wider. And this is me just showing you all the stacks that I put them in. It's so much fun getting out all the different cottons and putting them in order, like putting them in groups that I could make a dress out of. So some of them I ended up using like half of them to make a jacket, and then the leftover half I can use in a skirt or a dress. And I ended up using half of that. Some of them I made 2 small jackets out of. but for the most part, a lot of these are now turned into dresses. And now I've included some footage of non-layer cake dresses, so you can sort of see, so the grey one in the centre front and the sort of greenish floral one to the right, they're just a bodice and one layer skirt. And then this vintage one on the left here that's red, white with red daisies, it's got 2 tiers in that bit of footage, and it's got 3 tiers here, and they're all just one bit of fabric in each tier. But if you cut your quilting cottons into strips, then you can fit 2 or 3 strips of different fabric in each layer, and I just think it looks fun. And this is a different dress that's also got 3. It looks vintage. So these ones here are sort of mid-calf length or T-length, which is what a vintage dress. If it's 12 inches from the ground, then that's kind of looks like a vintage dress. That's the rough guide, and a really full skirt. So I choose to do pleating instead of gathers when I'm adding one layer to the other, because it looks more vintage in my opinion, and also it goes in your closet better. If it's gathered, then it's always quite bulky, whereas pleats, they just look more vintage, and I prefer to do them that way. And here it is that with the bodice attached. So I sewed some leftover bits together to make the bodice for that one. And that's just, as I said, if you go to the community section on my YouTube page, then just go down there and you'll see all the measurements for each of the skirts, each of the sections of the skirts. But basically, if you're making a 3-tier skirt, the first tier will probably be 2 yards of fabric round, then 4 yards, then 8 yards. Or some people do like 2.5 in the top one if you want it extra roomy. And just sort of make one just sort of with your not good fabric first, and then sort of once you've made it, figure out how you would change it to make it better for you. So this is what works for me. And this is another one that I made, the pine forest one. And I got a bit carried away. This is the one where the fabric was really wide, which translates sort of sideways so that the layers are thicker than they are on the other ones, because I used fashion fabrics, not quilting cotton. So I ended up, you can see over on the lamp there, I ended up taking the bottom 2 strips of fabric off. They were 16 meters or 16 yards round. So this was one of those 4-tier skirts where the first tier is 2 yards or 2 meters round. Then the next one is 4 yards. And then the next one, you double it, is 8 yards. And then you double it again. And the 4th tier was 16 yards round. So all that fabric over the lamp in the background, that's 16-yard loop of fabric, which is kind of useless. But what I ended up doing is I cut it into, and then I just show you a couple more dresses, but I guess this is an episode about this skirt. So with the leftover fabric of 16-yard loop, what I did was cut it down, and I was like, well, there's enough here to make 1 2-yard layer, 1 4-yard layer, 1 8-yard layer, and still have some left over. So that's what I did. I made a 3-layer skirt, and then I was like, should I use the rest of the fabric to make a bodice? But I've just kept the other fabric because I can use them in another skirt or something like that. So this one here, I bought some Halloween fabric, like I think it's Motions and Potions or Love Potion number 9 or something. It's all these little bottles with different cute sort of pastel coloured potions in it, and the background was mauve. So and this one is the lobster, the lobster jacket. If you've seen the lobster jacket, originally I bought that lobster fabric to put in a dress. And then I got so carried away mixing the oranges and the blues that I forgot to put it in. So I ended up making a lobster jacket with the lobster fabric. And so that's the finished pine dress, the pine forest dress, which is absolutely adorable. I really like it. And then I sort of went back to making jackets, and yeah. So, oh, this is another double-sided jacket. Yet another double-sided jacket. So just take photos of them or footage of it before I stitch the two sides together. And this is a Berta 6123. That's a good jacket pattern if you want a simple Chanel style jacket. And then, goodness, I made this footage a long time ago. So a year ago, last December, well, a year and a quarter ago, for Vlogmas the year before last, I just filmed all my jackets and did different videos about like the gold jackets, the yellow jackets, the green jackets, things like that. And then I finally came across, and I'd put this extra fabric aside, and I finally came across it again. I was like, you know what? I should make a skirt out of this. So, I couldn't decide whether I'd make a skirt or a dress. So I do have the other fabric still, but kind of in the mood for just skirts at the moment. So here it is. There was actually something, I'll pin it up in a second so you can actually see it. But this is what it looks like when you're wearing it. And in the background, I've got the roughly about 2 yards of leftover fabric. I think I'll unpick the 2 bits of fabric and use them on 2 different skirts, because I've got some bright sort of red colours and some greyish colours, but I've also got loads of greens. So I might use the green one in the green and the greyish ones with the other grey ones. So, because they're both really thin, fine cottons. So if you do the first tier of your skirt with a fine, really thin cotton, then it gathers up nicely and it doesn't bunch around your waist, around your hips. So yeah, anyway, here it is. Ta-da, just ignore all the mess in the background. And yeah, when it's thinner cotton, it sits really nicely. But if you think it's see-through, you can just not use light coloured fabrics, or you can wear baggy shorts underneath. You can't actually see them unless like the sun comes through the skirt, in which case all they'll see is baggy shorts. In the cooler months, I wear yoga pants under my skirts. That way you're wearing a pretty skirt, but you're warm because you're wearing yoga pants as well. Anyway, with this one, I didn't actually use a sewing machine. I like my hems to be hand stitched, because then you don't get the look of a machine sewn hem. And so I did that, and then I still hadn't done the waistband. So I couldn't really be bothered getting up. I was listening to something. So I was like, I'll just pin the waistband into place, tuck the raw side under and pin it in the right way, make sure there's enough room for the elastic in the waistband. And once it was pinned in place, I was like, I've got the threads, I've got the needle here, I may as well just hand stitch it. So yeah, it's actually all done by hand. Each of the layers were sewn together on my machine like a year and a half ago or whatever. But the actual, the waistband and the hem, like the hem is 8 meters long around or something. So after I'd finished all of that, I was like, well, it's only 2 yards or 2 meters at the waistline, and doing that just seemed like relatively minor compared to doing the whole of the hem, which I'd already done. So yeah, plus I know some of you really, really don't like hand sewing, but it's just as strong as machine sewing and it looks better. So yeah, I think it's worth it. I always like the items that are hand finished. I always end up reaching for them way more. Anyway, speaking of hand finished items, I found one of my boxy old Chanel style jacket patterns, like the Tempest jacket and the army, the olive green, and that's probably what made me think of it, the olive green and red jacket. I went and found some footage. So the white one there with different colours on it, like seaweed in the ocean, is the Tempest jacket, and this is the olive and red one. It's the most amazing 3D tweed. From Linton Tweeds in the UK, they hardly ever make these 3-dimensional tweeds, but they're just so amazing. I've got one like that in sort of Oceana colours, and yeah, see, the skirt kind of matches the olive and red jacket, sort of, in a way. Anyway, so I came across the McCall's pattern M6041. It's got a few drafting mistakes in it, so I don't recommend it if you don't know how to fix patterns. But if you do, it's a good boxy one for a sort of Chanel style jacket. If you just want one pattern for an open front jacket that you can make without having to fix anything, then I would recommend the Vogue 7975. It's more fitted, and I like the looser ones when you're beading, because I mean, look at these big awkward sequin flowers. It's just easier to work on a jacket if it's a little bit boxier instead of that ultra slim fit. But I do like the Vogue 7975. Anyway, so I found this pattern and I'm going to do a short sleeve version, like a little bolero jacket from this M6041. And then I think I'll bead those with loads of beads, because I've got a couple of more of the sequin flowers left over from the cactus flower jacket. And yeah, I kind of want to do a couple more. I had so much fun using up all my leftover bits in the sequin collar that I made recently. So now I want to do a whole jacket like that. A couple of them actually. Like I want a bright coloured one and then a gold one. So I've got to work out, how many base jackets I need, and then I will probably be making them next, one of them next. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you've been inspired to finally finish some project or other. Happy sewing!